Did you say he can't? He can hear us, right?
No, he can't. That's what I'm saying. We should do the whole show like this and make him think we can hear him. Like,
There you are.
hey,
Yeah,
Guys there?
yep.
yeah. Can you hear us
Yay.
now?
Woohoo. All
Woo.
right.
Oh man, you're lucky. We were just about to.
Hallelujah,
We were.
hallelujah. That's how the
We were.
owls do it.
We were just about to play a trick on you. We were going to do the whole show like, and then make a
Mimes. Yeah.
make it.
Okay. Well, I got here somehow. I'm not, really good at
That's hilarious. We should have somebody who could pretend to do what do you call it? Signage for the deaf. Just have them so while we're talking, they're doing all these kind of things that
Yeah.
don't really mean anything.
No,
That would be hilarious.
actually, my idea was more nefarious than that. I said we should do the show and have Dale think that we can hear him, but he can't. And then and then
That'd be
like
hilarious.
that would be a hilarious show. And he's we're just going along like like
Indeed.
nothing like.
I feel neutered, man. I can't believe how neutered I am because this is like I'm supposed to have this.
Well, just put it there so it makes you feel like you got something.
Well, I can't because it doesn't have a microphone on it. Does this? It just jumps up.
Well, can't you just hang the?
Hard.
Can't you just hang the this part?
Well, look at you.
Uh-huh.
You're just sitting on the little thing, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all right.
What have you got it set to? You got it set to the little heart shape?
I don't know, man. I just got a volume and an on and off, I think.
No, the heart shape. See if I can. Doesn't show it. Come on now. I got a $400 video camera.
Oh no, I got it. Oh no, I got it set to the figure 8.
Put it on the heart. What looks like a heart? Looks like a potato. It's one up from the figure 8.
Oh yeah, is that better?
That way it picks up just the front of the microphone. This is the front.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think it really makes any difference. I've been listening to microphone videos for a couple of days, and I can't tell the difference between the best microphone for $500 and the one that costs $49.
Well, especially when it's not working.
But I went and bought one yesterday online. It was Samsung G-Track, and I bought it because it has the most buttons on it. That's going to make me feel like I'm special. The most buttons on it. Buttons all over. It looks like a porcupine of buttons.
Yeah, that's not always the best thing, man.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what he's doing. He just wants to.
Well,
He just wants to think he knows what he's doing.
$89.95 for it. It was $95 out the door.
Heck yeah.
I could have bought another Yeti, but I thought, oh man, I just bought 2 years of those Yetis in the last 10 years. And
I've only gone through one. I haven't even gone through one Yeti yet. Is yours a blue Yeti?
yeah, mine's the same one as yours.
Huh.
I could have bought a Yeti X, which was a little bit more stylish.
Oh, maybe you got yours out of the discount bin or something. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I guess we better start thinking about getting the show on the road.
Is this a road show then?
It's nice just to sit back here and talk trash.
Yeah. So we just bullshit for about
I got one of
2
these
hours,
things,
Dale,
too.
and then
Yeah,
Star
that's
Trek.
cool. Let me take a couple pipe loads hits here.
Do whatever you want, man. It's your show. We're just along to you know.
Hey, you can even do it during the show as far as we're concerned. I mean, doesn't Trump smoke weed? Dope on, is
Is
it
that
Trump or?
weed or that tobacco?
I may do that because, yeah, going through a lot of uh, pain right now with,
Oh,
yeah, like last time, only this time I'm a little better able to handle it. I have pain medication and stuff that it got me on, so I'm trying to get through this. But if at some time I start grabbing my head like this and stuff,
I'll just say, and now a word of wisdom from the world's handsomest man. We'll just go, we just go over there and zoom in on him, and then you can.
what's your pain, Dale?
but it sometimes I get nerves that get binded and 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 twisted and stuff in the back of my neck, and it gives headaches. Shoots headaches and so if I stop and I'm like this for a minute, I'm just trying to like push it out of the way so it'll stop doing it. It's weird, but that's where I'm at right now.
That's messed up. What kind of stuff happened in your life that put that much pressure on you? What happened to you?
When I was a child, I managed to climb up on top of our garage. My mom was really mad. Make a long story short, and she insisted that I got down that very instant. I couldn't figure out how to get down, so I just jumped into the air and folded my legs Indian style like this. I was like 4 years old, and 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 landed on my butt on the ground, and it came and it compressed everything and pulverized the discs and that go up into my skull.
Holy
and
crap.
so I don't have any protective uh, lining or fluids that uh, that protect your spinal cord from your bones and stuff, and it catches on my nerves, and it's been a nightmare.
So
Yeah,
this your whole life has been like that.
yeah, yeah. And something happened last fall to make it just get a lot worse, and it's been a struggle.
What was it like growing up with that? Was it
Yeah, it plagued me my whole life,
was that kind of like screwed the pooch in terms of playing football and baseball and football and stuff like that? You couldn't even do it, right?
Yeah, I played, but yeah, it obviously had limitations because of it. Yeah, every once in a while I'd have like a nerve pop in the back of my skull, and it just immobilizes you, and that's what happens when I'm sitting here. If I sit here and I'm doing this, I'm just trying to push this freaking nerve or something out of the way so it'll stop hurting my head. So you know, is crazy. But, we have a lot of important stuff to talk about, you guys. So I really want to
Yep,
try to get through this in the best fashion possible.
absolutely.
Well, we're going to do
So,
an introduction, and then you can have the floor. Brian, roll it out.
All right. Well,
well, now when you say it like that, now it
Oh,
makes me.
no, I'm sorry, Mr. Pork Cunningham.
Hello, everybody. My name is Port Cunningham, and I'm here with the world's handsomest man, Frank Oliver Beans.
It's all about
This is the
me.
This is the Pork and Beans Show, and we are joined today with special guest Dale Lyons. And it's been a while since I've seen you, Dale. And before we get into you, let's talk more about me and Mr. Beans for the next. No, I'm just joking.
right on.
If you're not getting your heap and helping plate of pork and beans out there in pork and beans land, please like and subscribe to the show. on Facebook. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sasquatch BC, The True Story. And we got all the pork and beans episodes on there, and we're up to over 200 now, and a lot of fun. Well, help us out with the likes and the subscribes and whatever. I don't think we make any money off it or anything, but we just like people with their eyes on us, opening up eyes, opening up hearts, and say, hey, look, we got another 5 guys today. We do every day, so whatever. Thanks for that. So Dale, how have you been doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, you guys. It's good to see you. You know, it's been what, a few years now, huh, buddy? You know, since we were able to hook up there in Oregon. And last time I tried to come get on this, be with you guys, I herniated a disc in the bottom of my back in that exact moment, that I was supposed to get on the show, and I couldn't think straight. I was in so much pain. I simply couldn't think straight. And I was, watched a little bit of, what little bit I was on. I was like, oh my God,
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, you've had this for all your life, right? Like,
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
So
we're just gonna have a conversation, do the best we can, have some fun.
Yeah. I know I sent over a lot of pictures. Hopefully, we can cover a lot of ground. This has been just a remarkable experience, and just a pleasure to have been able to connect with these beings that most people can't even begin to get their minds around. We talk about Bigfoot, he's, Sasquatch, being probably the most recognized cryptid, and probably the most seen or experienced by people and stuff. But there are so much life that lives on our planet in other dimensions that we are just completely unaware of, and back in 2014, I wish Arla could have been here, but I had some experiences happen there.
Did you want me to ask Arla to come on? I can ask her to come on.
I would love for her to be here. She was such,
well, maybe share something that's not about her then, right?
Yeah.
And I'll ask her if she wants to come on.
Yeah.
Dale,
why don't you talk about where you live now and where you've had your encounters, because that let all the people who are listening to us kind of put you in the woods. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Why don't you say where you're from and where you've had your encounters?
Okay. Yeah. Well, my encounters began in Oregon. I live in Washington now, and although prior to Oregon, I had seen some pretty strange things. I was standing on a bridge with some friends one night, and this is the first time I became to understand that there was that we had a secret space force type thing, is I and 2 other friends were sitting there, standing on a bridge, and we watched this ship with that classic bluish power, power source, that you see on UFO shows and stuff. It had that color, and it had to be huge, because I could make out like six different sections of where that power source was. And to me, it looked like, if I had to, I would say it was like a freighter, but it left the planet. It didn't go across the sky or anything like that. It was leaving, and it left and disappeared into the stars. And it was huge. It had to be huge to have seen it from that distance, and to watch it. It was just really amazing. And then in Utah, also down in the Parowan Gap, you see it on Ancient Aliens. I lived close to there back in the 90s, and there's a lot of really interesting energies, if you will, that inhabit that whole area. There's glyphs, petroglyphs and stuff that they show on Ancient Aliens of a UFO that closely matches the one that I saw near that area. And it was massive, just incredibly massive. And all the pictures I sent over, I don't think I got that one sent, but anyways, this thing came up and over my head and my dog's head, and it was massive, a lot bigger than the house that we were standing next to. And it just lit up this whole mountainside, this whole hillside that we lived next to. And again, it was this bluish, energy color, but it had all these, it had these columns and these balls attached to the end of the columns. It looked like a jack, like the children's game jacks,
Hmm.
It looked like one of those with a big ball in the center, and then balls on the end of them, of the legs or whatever it is, and it rotated. It was in beautiful, deep green colors and blue colors, red colors. I mean, and it pulsated, and these things rotated around silently. And it was just like, holy cow, man. And I sat there and sorry. It sat and rotated around and did this for about a minute. Just sat there above my head. You could feel the electricity around us and all over my hair, everything. And all of a sudden it just took off. It was gone in an instant. And my eyes began to that third eye really was pried open at that point with the experiences I was having down in that area. That's where I first started seeing orbs and stuff, and started questioning what's really going on in this world,
You're
What-
saying,
how-
you're saying that the UFO energy opened your third eye. That's that's a pretty consistent thing that happens with Sasquatch, with the near-death experience, and with the UFO encounter. A real UFO encounter upgrades your spirituality.
Yeah, that's where it began, you know, and you know, the situation surrounding that, my state of being at that time was just unreal, you know, and I believe, you know, a lot of that is what brought me to the moment in time in Oregon where I began to have I have these experiences, you know, when I first in Oregon, where I first experienced the Sasquatch. I was down in Willow Creek at at a camp out with the Bigfoot community, and I was one of the founding members of that group at the time, as was Arla and other friends, you know, and we happened to be on the coast, and we stopped at this rock shop, and you know, they had all these, you know, cool stones and stuff, but it also had this slab of wood in the windowsill. And I'm pretty sure I sent these pictures. This is this is in Brian. This would be in the fifth row down. Can you see the
You want me to pull some pictures up now?
yeah, can you see the pictures with the slab of wood and the light shining through? Yeah. And
Okay, let me try to find that. You guys just maybe talk about something while I bring some pictures up.
so yeah, so while I'm I'm checking out this slab of wood, and I can't help but I can't take my eyes off, you know, what looked like, it looks like a Sasquatch. And they're and I, you know, I'm just mesmerized by this thing. And so I decided to take a picture of it. And I no sooner than I take a picture, and we go about our thing, go about our day. But as time went on, I began to experience strange things after that, and I hadn't made the connection that it had anything to do with these yet. This is what the picture, if you can see, this is what the first picture looks like, Brian. So if you can see that. Anyways, it looks exactly like a Sasquatch with and I didn't know it at the time, but it was the source of where things would really begin for me in the Sasquatch world. And that's where I made my connection with the Sasquatch. This is I don't know, maybe I can show these on Dang it. A messenger. Anyways, yeah, I began to experience really peculiar things. I'm sitting there. There's all this ruckus going on in the Bigfoot world. This hoaxer, he was had evidently killed a Sasquatch, and he'd done this before, and I'm not going to bring up his name, you know. But the few of us, there was a few of us that got together, and I happened to be on the computer and brought this guy. We exposed him for what he was, and it wasn't just me, it was some other people also, some other founding members of Bigfoot community that did this. And so at that time, I'm like thinking there's all this chaos and fighting going on within the groups, and people saying, you know, if he's a fake or whatever. And there you go. And in that moment, I think to myself, this must, you know, maybe the Bigfoot are of Satan. And in that moment, I felt, boom, a nudge to my head. It felt like putting your hand in front of a very loud woofer or bass speaker, and you know how you can feel that pressure of it. That's what it felt like against my forehead, and with the resounding no, and I mean it was loud, and that was the first time I experienced mind speak. Not only did, and yes, it was a physical feeling, it was a physical sound. And if you look at the picture next to that one, Brian, you can really appreciate, you know, what he looks like up close. You know, what's interesting is ever since I connected with the Sasquatch, this is Zariel is his name, and he is an ancient, and he is his light. He's been with me ever since. If you look at the top of this picture, you can kind of see that light cascading down from the top of it. If you go back to the original, you'll see that it's, you know, it's a glare. But that is not by, this is not by mistake. This, go back to the other one, and this very light, and it looks exactly like this light that's cascading down on him, follows me around wherever I go now. He shows up. He comes here to Pullman. He's been to Utah. He's with me. He's been various areas. All of my friends have seen the light that have been with me. Nobody can explain it. You know, they've watched it disappear and reappear, and it's very, very cool. Very cool. I have it on video. I have some other pictures of it that are down lower in some UFO pictures that I also sent to you, Brian. And that is indeed the same the same light that Zaril is. But I
Yeah.
could not take my eyes off this off this. Everybody was looking at the rocks, and I couldn't take my eyes off this, you know. And I'm the only one that took this picture. And energies, you know, exist in everything.
Yeah.
And this, and they connected with me here through this. Now that light, like I say, it shows up. It doesn't matter. It's not, he's not bashful. And I mean, he even comes around. I'll go out in the summertime, the winter time, whenever I might, you know, if I'm thinking about him, I need, you know, I'm wondering, you know, and lo and behold, there he is going by, you know. There's no blinking. There's nothing you can, you know, say, oh, that's a satellite. It's way too close, way too close. It has no sound. It, you know, and people are like, oh, hey, yeah, there it is. And then it disappears. And they're like, well, now, wait a minute. Now I don't know, you know, and nobody can answer, you know, what this is, you know, but I do. It's all real. And this is him. And ever since I connected with him, I started experiencing strange phenomena. You know, I was right after that, no, that bump to my forehead and the loud no, the mind speak. Shortly after that, I went, well, let me back up a little bit. Right before then, I had gone up on top of Willamette Pass. And that's where I first discovered Sasquatches to be real. And gosh, I did a lot of, you know, it was amazing, just amazing, you know. But yeah, after so
Why
many,
don't you give us some details? You said that's when you first discovered Sasquatch to be real. So give us some of the
yeah,
early
we were
examples of that.
so I decided to I found this place and we went to I thought it'd be a good place for a night investigation. And we pulled down through this ravine and went into this he parked into this area he probably shouldn't have parked in. But we got out of the truck and gathered around the passenger side, and immediately we hear this, "Arr!" You know, I'm like, wow, that's freaking weird, you know. And we look at each other and stuff, and we're like, what the heck, you know? Shine the flashlights out, we can't see anything. And we're like, you know, but we start talking again, and "Arr!" You know. Anyways, it didn't sound like anything I'd ever heard. It sounded like a human going, "Arr!" That's exactly what it sounded like, you know. And I'm like, geez, man, I think that's you know, I'm thinking to myself, I think that's a Sasquatch, you know. And we walked up ways and scouted the area out a little bit, and it followed us around, and that happened several times. Him growling at us, you know, and So we decided to go back. The following day I went back, and there were tracks all all over where where we were hearing these growls, and I took pictures of them and stuff, and but that's where I initially started interacting with these. And right before winter set in, as a gift, I decided to give them money. and
Yeah, that is pretty funny, because that's probably the last thing I've ever thought of.
so I did. I had some quarters and stuff, and I just, I'm like, this is from me to you, and I went and I set a couple of bucks worth out on some stumps and rocks and different places for him.
Oh, that's a little different. That's like coins and stuff, right?
Yeah,
I think it's pretty sweet. I like the idea
Yeah.
because you give what you value. So you value this coin, we value money. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah. So, anyways, after that, that's when that mind speak happened, and them assuring me that they had nothing to do with Satan, and that they were not of Satan, and that was very intense, and it was at that moment I realized that there are indeed things, going on in this world that we are way behind in. We have so much to learn, so much to learn, and we think we have a good understanding of everything. We don't know crap, and we are being tutored, if you will, to be dumbed down, and to not realize our true potentials as humans. Once at the turn of the year, after that mind speak had happened, my granddaughter, it was President's Day, my granddaughter wanted to go see the jungle. And I wanted to go find a new, closer area to go squatching. I was kind of still like into the research aspect of it, and that's, I was just a newbie. Hell, I was offending people. I was getting Ron Moorhead confused with J.C. Johnson, and gosh, what can I say? I made some boo-boos, when I got into the Bigfoot world. It was so profound and so extraordinary that it literally, it rocked my world, and I was not myself for a while. It took me a while to come around, and after experiencing what I did, is because it got really intense, and when my granddaughter wanted to go see the jungle, we went up there on President's Day, and this is where these are at the very top of the photos, Brian. These are of That first photo with the orange circle drawn around it.
Hang on a second. I don't know where.
It's
I don't
very
have them in
top.
any. I don't have them in any particular order.
Yeah, it's the very top one.
Well,
Oh, stop right there. Okay. Go back. There you go. Okay. So, obvious. Okay. So this is where it all began. I went up into this area, scouted out, and it looked like a great place for a night investigation. I went up there. I found some footprints and stuff, and we and I managed to talk my son and his fiance into going doing a night investigation with me. And we went up to this area here that I found, and we got up to the top of this landing. Almost as soon as I get to the top of the landing, this strange yellowish light, not very far above our heads, slowly moves across over our heads and moves out of sight beyond the tree line and makes no sound or anything. And we're like, wow, that was pretty interesting, And and we could see airliners. We could see the airliners above it, which was really cool. It put things into perspective as to its distance and stuff. But it made no sound, and it was very slow, and it just went up, over our heads. We're like, wow, what the heck? So we start going up this road, and I'm out of shape, and quite a bit heavier than I am now. And we get to the tree line, and I hear a whoop. And I asked my son and his fiance if they heard it, and they're like, no, man, I just discounted. I discounted and figured it was probably me wheezing because I was so out of shape. And so we walked up a little further, and nothing's going on. So I took this rock and went and against this huge boulder, and we stood there and nothing happened. And we started walking up, and all of a sudden we hear this woo, woo. And we stop and look at each other, and we're like, what in the heck? And it sounded just like it sounded like a teenage girl doing it. Only there are no teenage girls up here, especially where this sound just came from. And we're like, what the heck? Looking at each other, we kind of have this kind of shocked look in our eyes, And I'm like, Nicole, try to mimic that. She had never done anything like this in her life, but she nailed it, man. And no sooner as she did that than we went whoop, whoop, whoop from all over. Whoops from all around us started descending on us and closing in around us. Crunch, crunch. And underneath their foot, their feet, and whoop, whoop, just it is unnerving. And we're like, what in the heck, and like, whoa, it's massive. I mean, the weight smashing the foliage was just like nothing you could ever, I mean, just heavy. Nothing could do this, that I'm at this, that I'm aware of, and we're like, wow. And no sooner than that happens than something right next to us, boom, 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 is like running in place right next to us. And it's so intense that we're like, we can feel it in our chests, but it's invisible. Whatever it is invisible, and we're like, what the heck, and so I'm trying to get my yeah, my equipment. Gosh dang it, my therm. I'm trying to get my therm started and going and turned on, which is connected to my phone, and it won't cooperate. And I'm trying to get it, and nothing is working. But the battery, I can see the battery on it is going dead. The power bar on the battery is going down, and I'm not doing anything. No sooner than my son's phone starts indicating that it's going dead, and we're like, well, so we kind of get unnerved, and I'm gonna try to start a fire, and we're shining lights around. I'm not ready to with all this going on. It's very intense. It's very unnerving, but never at any time did I ever feel like I was in immediate danger. I never felt like like we were in immediate in harm's way. For whatever reason, it was very scary, but it didn't, I never sensed that we were ever going to something bad was going to happen. So we start trying to get a fire going, and then they start whistling around us, from one area, and then from another area. And to me, I'm like, and we're in the middle, and they're doing this, just messing with us, and Nicole, she's like, we can't get the fire going. It's she's getting cold, she's off and scared, and so we decide to go home. Sorry. We decide to go home. We get out to the Jeep, and we just sit there for like 45 minutes. We don't say anything. We're just in total shock and awe of what just happened. And nobody's saying anything. Finally, 45 minutes later, I'm like, whoa, that was intense, you know. We started the Jeep and went home. So I went back to so I go back up there 2 days later, and that's where that picture that we had just had up with the orange circle.
Brought that back up again?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's, you know, so I'm going up there. I have some material to make castings, and I brought some apples, and I start out, I'm all geared up the best I can be to be a researcher, man. I got these video sunglasses and so I can record everything, and as I'm going up as I'm making my way up to this landing where we had seen that yellowish light, I could see something in the distance across the clearing there moving, and it's not the circle, it's actually the figure that's on the left there, and that's a Sasquatch. And there's different pictures I have that show him in different stances. As he was pacing back and forth right there, I could see that light flicker from side to side as he paced back and forth. But this is like 1,000, at least 500 yards away, and so I'm not really sure what it is I'm looking at. I can just see it, and I'm thinking that whatever it is I'm looking at, that sort of my video sunglasses. It turned out that the damn lens was pointed up at the sky the whole time, and it got nothing of value. So I did manage to take a few pictures, and never having done any kind of editing or anything like that, I managed to lose some by not making copies of them before editing. And it would have shown a lot, shown a lot more to this story right here. But yeah, that is a Sasquatch there on the left hand side, and I believe that's a portal actually that he is standing in front of. It's the only time it ever looked like that, and I but it was not the only time that I'd seen something moving around over there. So anyways, so I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing it pace back and forth, and I take these pictures. I have no idea that there's this giant that is circled there in the orange, and that's his head he's manifesting in our dimension. If you could really study it and look at the originals and stuff, you can make out the nose and facial features of it, Yeah. But that's that dark spot right there.
Want another picture?
Right. Let's see. Right here. This dude right here.
Yeah, I can't see what you're doing because
Oh, you can't see that. All right. Well, anyway, so yeah, he's but he's this is the first time I experienced him. As I'm going up this ravine, or up this road, I mean, up to the landing. You know, I take them pictures of them. And when I get up there, I hear this, I set my stuff down, and all of a sudden I hear this, ah, 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 this crow, like 1,000-pound crow. It coming, that cawed at me through the tree line across this ravine, but with such force, I could literally feel it against me. And did it again. I'm like, whoa, man. And then another one just down below did the same thing. Ah, ah, ah. And then another one down lower, and then one down by my car. Ah, ah, ah. And then across the road. Ah, ah. And up the other side of the mountain. Ah, ah. And it got all the other crows worked up. And literally hundreds upon hundreds of crows sprang from where they roosted above my head into the air. It was like a scene out of Alfred Hitchcock or something, you know. And I'm free. I'm looking at all these crows like, what in the heck, man? You know, and they're just all, you know, flying around my head and stuff, you know, above me. And I'm like, whoa, I'm sitting there, you know. And yeah, it's the same story I told Brian. And they, when they made the cloud features,
Yeah.
you know, so I managed to get my stuff made up. Although I'm unnerved, you know, this is like freaking crazy, you know. I get my stuff made up for my castings, and I pour some castings. There was like a baby Bigfoot casting, and yeah, there's several, you know. And it was the first ones I ever made, and they came out like crap, you know. And so anyways, I'm pouring this. There's also a really big like cat casting and cougar, and I'm pouring it, and as I'm pouring it, something behind me hits me with a sound like that, you know. It sounded like the core when you put the playing card on your bicycle as a kid, you know, on the spokes and let it go, you know, that's what it sounded like. And only it hit me, you know, and I understand now that I was being scanned, but by what? I never saw what it was, you know. But at that point, I was like, screw this, man. I left everything in place, left all the castings in place, and gathered up my things. And as I was leaving, that's when I was bluff charged by that giant, and literally the size of that picture that you just had up. Was so huge that I literally was bouncing off the ground because of his size and weight of him charging at me. And there's virtually nothing I could do. I was too far from my car to make it there safely. And And I was like, screw it, man. So I started to run, and then I said, screw it. And I stopped, and I turned around. I'm like, well, I want to at least see what it is, and it stopped. And I never did see what it was yet. Then, time went by, and that's
Dale,
when I
Dale,
first became.
were you saying that it was invisible?
Yeah, and as I did a lot of research and up in that area, and as time went on, like these giants started interacting with me, showing up, like if you could, in that same group of photos, Brian, the sixth one from the one with the orange circle, there is there. That one, okay, right here. You see the face here. Can you scroll that down a little bit to where the green was? Or go back or zoom back a little bit. Right there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, this is what I want people to start understanding. This is not by mistake. There are a lot of spirit beings in this photo. Interdimensional beings. There are, and this giant right here is just one of them. But in the photos, in my original photos, you can actually zoom in to the pupils of his eyes and see them. It's not imagination. Then let's see. So let's go back. Now that's Julie Ryder's material right here of megaliths, and she started, but about, probably right around the same time, just shortly before that, I started understanding what these megaliths and when can you go to the one that's right next to it, Brian?
Right here. I can't see them. I just got them.
Can I do this? Can I do that function or no?
No.
Oh, dang it, man. I don't know why it's bringing that up. They're all mixed up or something. I don't, yeah, that one right there. Go back to that one. Next one. There. This is You know, this is also a megalith, you know, and at the time I'm being told, this is back in around 2015 that I start understanding, or 2016, I guess, that I started understanding megaliths, but I wasn't calling them that. And they were telling me geoglyphs. They kept, the word geoglyphs kept coming to me, you know, and I began to understand that these are sacred megalithic geoglyphs, you know. To put the whole term into perspective, it is not made by erosion. This is fashioned by a giant itself, and it is a sacred area, you know, and just like Julie Ryder's as megalithic, and it's a megalithic geoglyph, is the way I've been told to define them. And so it was really interesting that shortly after that, you know, after I was getting these messages about geoglyphs, because this is not the only one. I have one of Squatch Rock also, which Brian was sorry. Sorry. These these are fashioned, you know, by these beings themselves. Yeah, as a representation of what exists here on Earth and around us in other dimensions. Ouch. Sorry.
We understand, Dale.
For those who are just tuning in,
Yeah, it was really fascinating to me that, you know, Julia, you know, started coming out with this the same time I started coming out with this, you know, and it just all came together. You know, she was saying megalithic, you know, I was saying geoglyphs, and it fit together. They're megalithic geoglyphs by advanced human-like, you know, entities, you know, that are much larger, giant, you know, and I'm telling you, giants, they didn't all look like man, you know. Ken Jira, he's the can you go back to that picture next to the one with the circle, Brian?
This one?
And
like, I can only see one picture at a time, so I don't know what you actually.
I got you. Well, I remember when you were flashing by him, it was the one next to the orange circle. So yeah, sorry, there's so many there. Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway, there you go. That was it. Next one.
The painting. Do the painting. That one.
Right there. Okay. So back in 2016, I finally meet this invisible giant. And he's down at my camp as I wake up one morning. I get out of my RV and walk to a bush, and first I see this giant, had to be, I don't know, 20 feet tall. I believe now, after doing my research, that it was a stick man. It had, its legs were like lodge poles. Its arms were very, and body were very short compared, and torso were short compared to its legs. Its legs were very, very long. And it stepped from one tree to another tree and then out of sight. Then I see something behind it, and I'm used to this area, very, very used to this area, you know, and the surroundings of it. And I see this, and I'm trying to figure out what in the heck it is I'm looking at, because it's out of place. It doesn't look right. And yet I can't figure out what it is. I start realizing that it's black and gray, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's a black and gray primered vehicle. And then it lifts up off the ground. And it was a foot of this character right here, Kenjira. And this is, I can't say for sure that this is what his face looks like, but I know it's very close to it. I do visit with him, and
How did you know that his name was Panjira?
he introduced himself to me.
Wow.
Yeah. Finally. It was very intense. The night, so I see, all of a sudden, I see this, what I thought was a car, lift off the ground. And it lifts off the ground and steps forward. And then the other foot lifts off the ground. And I can see this, I can see it to just about below the knee. The rest of it's covered by the tree canopy, the top of them. All I can see is the bottom of feet and up to just below the knee. It takes 2 steps and vanishes. So that night, that day, I'm like, what in the heck, man? I can't do that now because of my neck, but I shook it so hard back and forth in bewilderment, just like, what in the fuck was that? And both of them were, incredible. So I'm sitting there, and my son goes home. I'm sitting there by myself, and all of a sudden, a pine cone comes and lands down by my feet. And I'm like, and I didn't think anything of it. I look up and, didn't think anything of it. Then another one comes and lands by my feet. I'm like, what in the heck? And as I look up, two more of them come across over my RV and land right down by my feet and roll up right by me. I'm like, what in the heck, And I know it's, and by this time I'm pretty familiar with the Sasquatch, and I know that they're messing with me. And and then four of them come over. I'm like, is that all you got? And so they and they mind speak to me. Well, if you insist, I shouldn't have said that, and so they, that's when four started coming over at a time. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm getting a little unnerved, so I decide to go into the RV, and a rock hits the top of the RV, just bounces off it, man. Not a big one, just enough to this is real, and this is really going on, So dinner's, I'm expecting my wife to come back. Dinner's, I'm making dinner, and I so wish that I would have had the nerve to really go out and meet these the way I was supposed to. It was a once in a lifetime experience. But because of my wife, I didn't. It was scaring her too bad. But there were, all of a sudden, after we ate and the sun started going down, started hearing woof, woof, barking and weird noises, whoops, and all of a sudden the RV starts to tremble a little bit. Like, what the heck, And it's getting harder and harder with each step that Ken Jir is taking. And by the time he's getting close, the RV is literally jolting. And my wife was like, stop it, Dale. I don't know what you're doing, but stop it. I'm like, I'm not doing it. You better stop it, or you're scaring me. I'm going to go home. I'm like, and I asked, I'm like, okay, guys, I asked in my mind, please don't scare my wife. And they stopped. But it was meant for me to go out and meet all of these beings. There's so much that's happened in between this, even, it's just so much ground. But but these type of beings live and exist in our world, not in the world as we understand it, but nevertheless in our world. And we are beginning to learn that through us, through, me. I think for me, I hold Arla in high regard because of how open her mind is, and she just
where was this that you met the big ones? Was that in Washington, or was in Oregon?
It's in Oregon. Yeah. Yeah. Most all that is in Oregon, and the things that have happened here are pretty much CE5 events, and C1 to C5, is that's they even if I can't get in the woods, they make a showing, and I sent some pictures of that to show some pictures of the UFOs that have been coming around. There's cloaked ones. I don't know if you can find them, Brian, or whatever, but but that's they're always around me. They manifest themselves in shadow form sometimes, and
So
in
do
the house.
you know if the big ones? Do you know if the big ones are actually coming up there to visit you?
I don't think Ken Jarrett has been here, but I know that Zaril has. Yeah, he will always be around me, and I've just got yeah, he
Are
he-
they both are they both the same size, or is Tangier the really the 20-foot, the really big one?
Ken Jarrett he's 40 plus feet tall.
Oh,
He's
40 feet.
Yeah, his feet. I'm dead serious when I say his feet were the size of a sedan. Yeah, yeah. He was down in my camp, and when I first started communicating with these, I can't. If I'm in tune and I'm in a good place, I enjoy their company, but I can be in a bad place and not be able to interact with them at all. Is it has to do with your spiritual being and the peace, your peace within. If you're in a good place, and oftentimes
Well,
they do what's necessary to teach you to when they're not communicating with you, they are, but in ways that you come to understand later.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dale, Patrick Joseph McCRAY, you know Pat McCRAY, right?
yeah.
He's just got in touch with your Sasquatch buddy, and here's what your Sasquatch just says just now. He says he wishes to communicate with men. He says it's time. So you're getting a feedback from your friends right now on while we're live. So that's kind of nice that he's talking to Pat, but it was for all of us, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It truly is. I was when I offended a lot of people, like I said, when I first got into it, when all this happened, I thought I was going to be able to prove them and shit. I was telling, offending people, saying I'm going to prove their existence and stuff. They want me to do this, and in fact, I wasn't hearing them right. They were explaining to me that I was to tell people to teach about them and to show them. If you have an area, that you visit, that that you're with these beings, that they're there, take people and introduce them, you'll know their hearts, and and either they will they will appreciate the person and understand their heart and want to teach them, or they're just not ready for it yet, and there's no way to prove that, we're not going to prove them, not in the way that science wants to have it done, and they are, I say that they're human-like in the fact that they seem to be so in tune with an emotional aspect of human being, just being a human, and our hearts teaching us, evolving our consciousness. And so I wasn't, I had that mixed up. I wasn't trying to prove anything. I was simply trying to teach people, and I was getting that confused, when at first, I was like, telling people, yeah, I'm going to prove it. I found them, and they're like, no, and my head was really messed up, from them first interactions. They were so intense, and so as I have become to understand who these my friends are, Zaril, Churang. I didn't know his name. Mike was the one that came, who told me his name, and but Churang is one of the Sasquatch that are constantly around me also. When I'm in like I was saying, when I'm in a good place, I can communicate with these, through, mind telepathy or whatever you call it. Kenjira, and he has got a hell of a sense of humor. He's king of the mountain, and he knows it, and it's amazing how all these beings have graced the planet, in at some time, within the 5.5 billion years of the Earth's existence. And the green man, I've had personal encounters with the green man, and where he, the Sasquatch, and several beings showed up in a picture, for me to teach people about these these are beings and creatures that you'll never see on the face, except for the Bigfoot amphitheater, and everything on there is real, 100% real. I will take a lie detector test to everything that is on that page, and I will I'll back that up with every fiber of my being. I can't wait to get in the woods. I'd love to come over and see you guys in the fall, Brian. You know, gosh, been wanting, I'd love to, just I've been going through this medical stuff. It's been hard to go anywhere. So, but they come to me,
We just invited Pat McCRAY on. Pat, I don't know if you've got your microphone on. Why don't you do a mic check?
How you doing, Pat?
No, he doesn't have his mic on yet.
Oh,
So where are you now? You're in Washington now, right?
yeah.
Dale?
So, I'm in Pullman, and it's pretty treeless place. It's the world's leading producer in wheats and various grains, lentils, that sort of thing. It's a land where you see the rolling hills in the westerns, and and they're hunting buffalo, and they come up over a hill, and there's they're looking all over, and they come over a hill, and there's thousands and thousands of them, and that's the kind of land it is, and it's very beautiful in its own right.
Yep.
But there's no trees. And that sucks, man. And these the green man, everything. I wish we could go through these pictures more. I wish but all of this is made, we are so conditioned to and molded into what we aren't, right? And I don't know. It's our job, to crack that third eye, I guess, in other people, and wake them up, and because the message is love. From all of these beings, it's they've been here for the green man. Okay, he's been here a lot longer than even the Sasquatch. And he's the god, a god of life, in the spring, and usually has a host of creatures with him. If you could, there's at the top of my page, there's a picture, and it's called Oneness, and it's a picture of the green man, and there's two Bigfoot in it. There's other and it's been analyzed. It's not hard to look at. It's not hard to read. It's been analyzed by some very impressive, the best we have in this industry, and M.K. Davis, and and Michael Beers. He's helped with my work, and it's very important that from a researcher standpoint, that I show and be very honest about how they live and exist. My work, it can't be duplicated. That first picture with that orange circle around it, with the Bigfoot on the left, the giant, when you start putting those together, and you realize, this cannot be this cannot be, photoshopped. There's and they've done that intentionally. There's, when you get a lot of interdimensional beings hanging around in your picture, a lot of, they're going to come out strange. They're going to come out, when they are within that veil, if you will, of that dimension, they can, it looks weird, but they certainly can show themselves. And like the green man, the creatures that are on his shoulder, looking over his head and stuff, are very real and very, very interesting. If you haven't looked at it, I encourage everybody to check it out, because that's what the Bigfoot Amphitheater is. It is a place where you learn not only about Sasquatch, but about every being that's ever, lived on this planet, and they show them to me. They attach pictures to my videos so that they can be, like there's one being, it's a mother and her offspring, and it's a weird looking picture. Some people want to think it's rocks or stuff. It's not. It's, it's a creature from another dimension with her offspring, and their little noses sticking up in the air. And I'm just learning it all too. I'm no more ahead of anybody or anything. I'm looking for the answers through you guys, just like, and vice versa. And we're teaching everybody,
Hey, Dale, I invited Pat on because Pat got a message from your Sasquatch. And I thought that was outstanding in live time. So I was going to ask Pat if he, Pat, Dale's Sasquatch, I think the big one, wanted to speak. Do you want to see if you can connect with him and see what he said? He wanted to speak to mankind, or speak to.
No, he says in general, and that's what he wants to do. That's why I talked to Dale, and he wants to communicate more with men. Usually, they're really Bigfoot or ultra sensitive, but I think there's a push now where they want to start coming out of the woodwork, so to speak, and want to start communicating with people. I mean, it's happening all over the place. I mean, people are seeing Bigfoots all over the place, and I think somehow the veil's thinning somehow. But that's what he was saying. He didn't want to speak on the show. He was just saying that in general.
Well, that's good to know. If you have any other Sasquatch out there who do want to add to the show right now, just put it out there.
Okay.
There was a time where Brian had never experienced mind speak, and now he's getting it, and it's coming to him. And I was really moved, when he and I first got together. Because I don't feel their energy like you guys do. They don't work with me that way. They come out in the open and and they're right there with me. It's but for you guys, they feel, you feel their energy, and when when Brian and I first got together, they showed me how he feels that energy, and I was amazed. I was like, whoa, it startled me. I was like, whoa, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that, and I thought it was just Brian, that was unique to only Brian, and but I guess it's not, I guess other people feel that also, but it's very moving. It's very moving and very powerful to feel that. And when I do, it's very special when they do. And I've been there with, Mike, and we've been up there, and Mike Bodowitz, and they've had, you just feel the energy flowing all around, all over us, our skin, our hair, everything's just crawling, when they connected us, and they intentionally connected us, I know that now. It seems like you always learn these things afterwards, it always comes to you, down the road a little bit, Doesn't it seem that way to you guys, or,
Yeah, they're personal for everybody, that's for sure. I mean, I get communicated with in a variety of ways, and Brian's got a real gift. It's real personal. So just anytime he thinks the right thought, he gets a confirmation, and that's pretty special, really. That's pretty rare. But then Pat's been having mind speak most of his whole life with a lot of different beings, but mostly now with Sasquatch. So there's a lot of different ways of doing it, but to be reached out to by non-human beings and be connected, that's pretty powerful stuff.
Well, like I asked, this is when I first started doing this stuff, and you get confused. You got to know who you're talking to, and eventually you do it, you get it. It's like second nature. I mean, who you're talking to, but he told me, he says, you have to do it by feeling. And you actually feel them in your mind, so to speak. I mean, it's really weird to say that, but it's true. I mean, it's actually feeling their energy. I mean, you're talking to, sometimes you'll see a visual and stuff like that, but you get that, you kind of get that, well, I know it's him type feeling.
Because it's instantaneous. It's your language and your speaking back and forth is instantaneous. If it drags on and there's not an answer and you're trying to think about an answer, then it hasn't answered. It's if you'll know it because it's instantaneous.
It's usually the first thing that comes to your mind a lot of the times. Like you said, if you let it linger and stuff like that, but it's actually a two-way communication. It takes milliseconds.
Exactly.
You say a name and they're responding. It's just like that.
It really is. Yeah.
It's really incredible when you think about it. If you say a name, I could say a Bigfoot's name in Indiana and she'll be talking to me, or even think it. It's that sensitive, and it's like
amazing.
And then you'll have it's almost like a download, but you'll talk to some that you know exactly what they're thinking in less than a millisecond. Just what they said. And then it's like almost like a download. That's the only way I can explain it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And it, depending on I don't know if how being close, the proximity of it.
That sometimes that is an issue. I mean, I've had, you know, I mean, you could talk to somebody, you know, this is like a universal thing. Conscious communication, it's just, it's distanceless. I mean, you can talk to somebody on Mars as long as you know who you're talking to and you can communicate and you say, you call them out and stuff like that, you'll be able to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's once you make that communication, it's amazing. And I've had it so strong that it's like transistor radio tuning in, you know, and finding the right station, you know. And that is just like really profound when it's that strong, you know. And that's back when I had all them youngsters messing with me with the pine cones and stuff, you know. And so it can be a very powerful, it can be a very powerful feeling. It is all energy. It is all energy.
I have a quick question for everybody. Okay. Now, everybody that's here, Brian, Mike, and you, do you experience at times fluctuations in frequency? And you can, a lot of times I'll get it and it just, I mean, it almost hurts my ears. Now, I'm thinking inside there's something's moving in the room that has a frequency or something like that. And I constantly, I don't think it's tinnitus. I've had it since I was young, a ringing in my ears. I mean, I've talked to other people that have the same thing. Do any of you guys have that?
I have ringing in my ears all the time. I started noticing it when I did a lot of meditation because, you know,
Yeah, it's just like it's always there. And I don't, it's always been there. So I just don't really key on it or anything, or it doesn't bother me. But a lot of times the frequency will jump up. And I think that's when somebody's in close proximity to you, they come in and then the frequency, it comes in and you feel that. I'm just speculating. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I had it where it goes from just a regular kind of the buzz that I normally hear to like a certain tone. It goes beep, like that, and that comes with an energy shift.
Yeah.
A little bit louder than the normal ear.
Oh yeah, they fluctuate.
Yeah. But, you know, and people talk about quantum physics like it's all this and all that, when that's really a window into another world. But when you start talking about the stuff we're talking about, you're talking about the physics of no space. When you talk about
the physics of the natural environment, basically.
When you talk about no space, that means there's no space and there's no time. And for some of these communications, some of these things, that's why I don't think it's a big deal for these people coming from different planets. They're traveling in no space and they're just here, you know, they come here. It's like you said, you dial in where you want to go or what you want to do, and that's in no space, which has completely got different rules than quantum physics.
Yeah, that's true. But for a lot of people, you know, you've been raised and you're born to go by the time clock and stuff like that. And a lot of people do not understand the concept of no time. I mean, it's kind of weird. It is. It's kind of weird because you're so used to dealing with the time clock and the time and the seasons and all that. And, you know, like spirits and stuff like that, you know, have passed over.
And
they don't deal with
cause and effect. You know, that only happens in kind of linear time. The cause, this caused that. You know.
Oh yeah.
I'm walking downhill, so because the mountain is slanted, that makes me walk downhill like this. But that only happens in 3D and in physics.
Well, the main thing is that they want us to understand that, yeah, we are not the only ones on this planet.
Yeah.
They want us to understand that there are there's a lot of life form, and it I the Sasquatch are just amazing, when it comes to showing people, teaching people, prying that third eye, if you will, and open. And as I've become to understand it, it doesn't really matter, what's there's a lot of fake stuff out there, but it creates a path of learning from there, and then they could go, you can go back to lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, I'm in pain.
You ever ask the Sasquatch for some healing, or the Star Nations? That
Yes,
might work.
I'm sorry.
Did you ever ask the Sasquatch or the Star people for healing, to heal you?
Yeah, and they have been. This is a tough one. And maybe they can, if I could get out there and they could get their hands on me, maybe, they could heal me that way, or, I don't
They
know.
come right in your bedroom, Dale.
They,
I mean,
they have.
they've come in, and I had a dream that there were two human surgeons working on my leg, but it was them, and they interjected the human surgeons, and then I had a lack of circulation in my leg, and they've been working with that, and it's gotten tremendously better and hasn't gotten worse. So it used to seize up all the time, but it doesn't do that hardly anymore. So they kind of worked on that.
Yeah. It's I've had them heal. I was having a problem with this skin irritation. It was God, I can't remember the name of it, but it would break out in patches and stuff, and my fingertips and everything were cracking and bleeding, and I asked them, can you please help, with this, and they did, and it was, thank heavens, they've I could get into some really deep stuff that they've done for me. I've kind of shared with Brian, as I'll tell you one, I was in a really bad place. My son had just died, and I went off the deep end, and this one messes with me. I'm ashamed of what I was about to do, and but I'll be truthful with you guys and to everybody watching this, and I swear it with every fiber of my being. I was trying to go join my son, had passed away. And I was getting ready to inject myself with enough to kill me, and they literally pushed the whole mattress and me out of bed. I mean, I brought it up to do it, and something so powerful pushed the whole mattress and pushed me out of bed, and I wouldn't let me do it, and that was intense, real intense. And that's, and they're always around me ever since I picked up that rock. They've been right there with me, and they've guided me through a lot of stuff. Through them and the people, you people, you light workers have transformed, my existence, my consciousness, and God, I love the Sasquatch for that, they're always right here, and I don't, I have no other way to explain it. They manifest themselves around me in different ways, and I wish I could, I wish. Gosh, just they're amazing. They're amazing.
Did you ever feel so much love for them that you started to cry?
I have literally broke down and just sobbed, and just so grateful, for how they transformed us. Sorry.
You're not alone. That's when you start talking about these deep level heart contacts that you get. That's all you can do is cry.
It's real heavy, man. They I don't know, I'll see if I can find this a photograph, but it just, they're always there. There's something that's like, excuse me. Sorry. So there's something that's like 2.5 feet tall that cruises around my house all the time. I don't know who he is or what he is. Might be a gray. I don't know. But they moved him they moved him in ever since I had that problem, and with trying to take myself out with my son,
There's a whole bunch of Sasquatch that are under 4 feet. There's another whole variety that are under 4 feet. So
Really?
Sasquatch too, yeah. They're seen
Wow.
on aircraft. They're seen on spaceships all the time. 17% of people who've seen beings on a craft, they see these 4 foot or 3 foot and 2 foot Sasquatch. Yeah, and
Wow.
then 14% of the people see the big ones. So between 14 and 17. The little ones 17%, the big ones 14%, but they're seen on craft all the time. So it could be one of those.
Well, the adults are 10 foot upward. And my thing is they come into the house all the time, and the adults can't because they won't fit in the house. And my thing is I think they have the youngsters come into the house, and because they can fit inside the house. And I got a friend, Christy, and she can see when it's on video that there's Bigfoot in your room or whatever when you're on video, and she saw like young Sasquatches in my room. So that's why I say I think the adults can't fit inside the room.
Yeah, it's, well, that is, I didn't know that, I had no idea, but that would make sense, and, I know there's little people, but I don't think that's what's, whatever's here is here to protect, because I guess because of what my particular role is in this, of teaching people, that not everything is nice, and I think so,
Exactly.
and so I think they keep somebody around here just keep an eye on that, because I am so close to that world now, and those worlds. Once you tune into these and the green man, that's, can you imagine that? He has been, been
What is the green man, Dale?
let's I will tell you here.
Because I mean, we deal with somebody called Earthkeeper. And I don't know if it'd be one and the same.
So this right here is the green man. And so this right picture here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Wait.
That his face?
Yeah, that's his face in the middle there. But there's also creatures on his head and on his shoulder right here. There's a Sasquatch right here and one over here also. And
I wonder if that was the Earthkeeper.
And basically, he's been celebrated by, the Knights, what is that? Gosh, my brain is just not freaking with it, man. Sorry. It's hard to think when you're in pain. What is that church, that chapel thing they show on Ancient Aliens all the time, God, anyway, can't believe this.
Can't think of it.
Georgia Guidestones or something?
It's the
Mormons?
give me a sec here. Okay. So get him. Let's see if I can get the Wikipedia or whatever it is here of him. But he is he brings new life to in the spring and new creatures. Just try. God, there's a lot of. I am fumbling here, and I apologize. Anyways, he is like a winter god type thing that brings life to in the winter, brings is responsible for all the nature, the new births and all that stuff.
It's got to be Earthkeeper.
Yes, he is.
I focused on. I saw his picture, and I focused on him. And I said, "Well, who are you?" And he says, I am who you seek." So that's got to be Earthkeeper.
He has branches and limbs that come out of his mouth, and he has foliage all over his face. He oh, I'm so frustrated. Oh, how could this be happening?
He's got a nice feel to him. I mean,
Yeah, he's all good, you know.
a really good feeling.
He was around in the times of Robin Hood and the Knights Templar. That's what I'm trying to think of. He is on the walls of the Knights Templar, you know, of their church or whatever that is. He is celebrated in other countries all over the place, you know, and let me
I was gonna write a journal down, but I kind of didn't do that. A friend of ours does that. He writes all the stuff down. Friends of ours.
yeah. Well, we'll see what the spirit. We'll see what this one has to say. Okay. The green man is found in many forms throughout history. He is to be found in many different guises, but the common feature is the face, covered by foliage, very often sprouting from their mouths. He is often found carved in wood or stone in medieval churches and cathedrals. Why they were included in the construction of these buildings by the masons has perhaps been lost in the midst of time. But so I met this dude, you know, my son who passed away. I was talking about, and we happened to run into the green man and that host of other creatures and Sasquatch one day. And it was pretty amazing, man. And we could we pulled up to to the place, we instantly could hear something stirring around us, We walked to the edge of this lookout, and we could hear all the Sasquatch that wooing and crooning and humming and all that in the forest below, just singing. It was beautiful to hear. And I've had the pleasure of hearing that, a few times, and it's the most beautiful thing you could ever hear. To hear the kids singing and whooping and wooing. It's like nothing. I don't know if any of you have ever heard it, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got, my son and I, we got in the truck because it started raining, and the water spilling down the windshield. It's rain covered and it's slightly cold, so maybe a little fog, but all of a sudden I see something dark go across the windshield, and I look out, just glance out the side of my door or my window in the truck, and I think I see something. So I take a few pictures. I didn't have enough storage to do any video. So, and I knew that, and I was lucky enough to take a few pictures, and they tell a story. They definitely show the movement and what was in the before and afters. And I did a complete breakdown of the whole thing, just to so not to insult anybody's intelligence. I try to do that. That is the purpose of Squatchville, the Bigfoot Amphitheater, is to give people something to get their minds around. This picture with this of this guy here, he's cloaked and he's orange for a reason, because that's the way he was. I have a friend that is able to bring cloaked Sasquatches out and make him be able to see him. But if you look at it, I don't, if you can see.
Yeah, I can see that, his head and
That's
It's
pretty
big.
good. We can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, and so, and this is it again. Okay. This is the same picture. All right. So this is the same picture. This is the one that MK Davis edited.
That one looks all bleached out to us.
Okay, yeah, it's all whited out.
he's
And
doing a contrast thing.
yeah, there in the center is a
Bring
tree
something out.
peaker. There's a tree peaker right here. And then right over here is where that cloaked Sasquatch was at. And I outlined, I outlined it, so you could, but that's,
Here we go. Is that what you're talking about?
yep. But that's him, and he's close,
Yeah, I see that.
and he is here, and he is in the picture with this dude here. Okay. And the tree peakers. This is what they do to verify my work, to make it so it cannot be duplicated, it cannot be fabricated, it cannot be photoshopped. There is no way somebody could put this this right here is the original photo. Yeah. And you have to really, it took me years of studying this to understand what I was looking at. But once I did, even MK Davis said it's one of the, better than most people's pictures. So, whatever that means, for whatever that's worth, I don't know. But, but the point is that the Bigfoot amphitheater is there for people to get a firsthand look at what these creatures are in this world that we don't understand, that we've never seen before. And yes, they cloak, they do every, they are nothing like what they're nothing like what Jeff Meldrum wants them to be. Plain and simple, they aren't. And
he wants them to be his way. I don't know.
Mel dummy.
And I don't mind telling them as much either. I have, but
He works for the government.
How do you like that?
The only thing, it's good that he brings an interest for people, but I, personally, he's just in it for the money. He's in it for the money.
He's paid by somebody. It's
Being
not the
paid.
university.
Yeah. And all these conferences, he makes money,
Well, he's probably paid as as somebody that's going to come out and he's just going to be a rebel rouser and deny everything. And that's basically what he does. I mean, if it's nothing from him, he doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah. I have I've showed him.
I got no faith in academics because they look at normal people like we're dirt, or like they're going to get an infection from us. You know what I mean? Like if they talk to us, they're going to get infected.
I've been talking to you for a long time, and I'm not only partially infected.
No, it's I encourage everybody to come and come look this page over and
What's the address on that, Dale?
yeah, it's Squatchville, the Bigfoot Amphitheater.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, and yeah, a lot of my work, I try to get it out to as much people and teach as much people as many people as I can in other groups and stuff, and I'm really trying to teach them a lot of my work. In fact, all of it pretty much shows what they don't want to teach, and that is them cloaking and as you can see by the images that have been enhanced by artists and stuff, there's no mistaking it. That is a Sasquatch. It's not maybe. And yeah, it looks weird, it looks orange, but that's what that blur is on the other side of that picture is a cloaked Sasquatch. And that's exactly what it looks like. And it looks like a very physically fit older Sasquatch, and that's what I'm told is that he is the family, you know, the family patriarch, basically.
So what do they, what do they want you to teach people? Exactly. What's the core of the teachings?
Well, a lot of the teachings I'm learning is what you guys are teaching. And I'm in a transition right now. So what I do know is that I will continue to right here. I'll probably continue to work with them, and they'll work with me through aerial phenomenon and stuff like that. Orbs, stuff like that. That's how they manifest themselves around me. And I think but teaching people, showing people, having them look at, really study my work is amazing, and to look at the Green Man, and that is a real picture of the Green Man. I mean, you can see his nipple and everything, and there's a being.
It's on your website.
Yeah, it's on that page, and it says a feast of friends on it, and these creatures are remarkable, to see these who would have thought that, there was things that lived in another dimension to begin with. Who would have thought that there was another dimension? I mean, we're trying to get our minds wrapped around that. NASA has confirmed that there are 6 dimensions. Okay. And there may be more. I don't know. But it's interesting that we are the ones that are beginning to teach people what exists in those dimensions. Scottsville, the Bigfoot Amphitheater, brings visual, brings them, to reality, this mother and her offspring are this picture right here. They attached this picture to my video, and it's it's kind of hard to see. I understand that, but in the circle, okay, in the circle there's a mother, and then there's a bunch of black little noses sticking up behind her, and it's her offspring. I don't know, it's a nursery type area, this particular area, and this creature is not an interdimensional creature, but resides in a dimension of the area I was researching, that I took Brian to. But it cannot go, they took the picture of it in my area, but I could, but we would never be able to see it because it lives in a different dimension, is what I'm saying. So they attached it, and that's kind of things, it's not a perfect image, by any, but it's, it is what I say it is. It's worth looking at if you can get a good look at it, a good, and those are the offspring right there. And you see their little noses. Maybe you can. I don't know. It's hard to see on this, but them creatures that are with the green man are like nothing you'll ever see in your life. And it's there. It's not maybe there. It's there. And it's strange. There's no way anybody could ever imagine that picture, until I took it. And like I said, there's like 4 different pictures that I was able to get of it. And so it kind of tells a story of it, that with the green man. But their message is all the same. We all share this planet. We all live here, and the entire, and the ones that are able to make a difference need to make a difference, and that's us. And the beings that who have advanced thinking and forward thinking, are able to build things. And it's up to us to keep this planet together, and take care of her, take care of each other. That's the message. That's the message with the picture of the green man. Is there's a lot of different creatures there in that picture, and they coexist peacefully.
He says that he takes care of the forest and the earth, and I guess he's earthkeeper, so I mean, it just seems perfect right there.
Yeah. It's cool. All the, these creatures that are tagging along with them are awesome looking, man, and
Little people, you think?
no, you're gonna have to look for it. You're gonna have to look at it and take a good,
Okay, I'll look at it tonight.
take a good serious look at it, because it is, it is, and even MK Davis agreed. It is strange beyond imagination, and it is, and it's not blurry like everybody, you might think it's not. But when you get these interdimensional beings in that picture, it distorts. It does distort your photographs, when they're within that
their vibrations and stuff like that.
Yeah, they can. There's a part of it where possibly that's a dragon that's the head of a dragon that's next to him, that's kind of cloaked in with the tree a little bit, and it's really bizarre, but at the end of the day, they're teaching us to coexist with one another. If all those beings right there can, let me get this, hang on.
The green man sounds pretty cool. I've seen pictures of drawings or something. I've seen
Yeah, we talked to somebody called Earthkeeper, and he's close to God.
Really?
And
okay. So this is the one I got hanging on my wall. I've sent this to people. it's probably hard to, there's this dude right here. There's this dude right here. They're on top of him. You can see his face right here. The middle right here is the green man, okay? His eyeball is right underneath this branch right here. And I'm pointing this stuff out, so when you get onto my page and look at it, you can kind of get an idea of what, where to start looking, and but the original photos that it has on it, man, you can actually see the eye shine of these creatures and the green man. It's that good, and this is zoomed and cropped. It's not what it looked like as I took the picture. Let's see. See if I can find it here. Yeah. So, and you're not going to be able to make heads or tails of this, but this is the pictures that as it was originally taken out my truck window. And he's right in there, and there's a breakdown. My son helped me do a complete breakdown of this and he's got to be 20 feet tall, the green man, and then the Sasquatches that are next to him are dang near that tall, that height also, 15 to 20 feet tall, I'd say, and yeah, the breakdown is in there, and you're welcome to just stroll through it and look at everything. It's a mess, but it's because I bring this stuff up all the time and share it in different ways with people and stuff. I have a lot of work that's accumulated over, the few years, and basically it doesn't matter if, I hate to see people hoax, and fabricate their Bigfoots or whatever. But if that's what you got to do, because it gets people interested in it and stuff, knock yourself out.
That's it.
The rest of us kind of understand that, I guess, at this point. And there was a point where I was really offended, by some of these jokesters,
What's the name
and
of your
they're
website?
huh?
What's the name of your website?
Squatchville, the Bigfoot Amphitheater.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So make sure when this is over, you send a link to Brian, because when he goes to post it onto the YouTube channel, then they'll be able to add your link so people can go and check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's on YouTube. I've started with it. I'm not very good at editing and stuff like that, but all of it's authentic, and the real deal. I don't the dog man and that dog, the picture of the video, that video I have of the dog man and the dog and the female dog man holding holding Bright Eyes, the Sasquatch youngster. It's an area, it's kind of like a daycare area, if you will, and they watch, you know, and there are different beings that watch different that watch children of different creatures, if you will, the offspring of, you know, and so, you know, they like, you know, people are saying, oh, there's a great war between Bigfoot and the dogman and stuff like that. And that simply isn't the case. You know, they coexist together, and they even watch each other's kids, you know. The video I have of that is amazing, you know, and it's real time, before and after. You know, I'm videoing it. You can see Bright Eyes here, you know.
Wow, that's
This is
amazing.
one of the stills, you know, and this is eye shine
And when it starts,
from
when it
him,
lights
but
up
he's
their
being
nose,
held.
when it lights up their face, that's eye shine.
He's being held by a female dogman, and he's just a youngster. That's what it looked like, you know, as I was videoing it. The male dog man is right here, and again, I had my friend who's an artist. He did his own interpretation of what it was looked like, and it's on the page for those who would want to look at it. Geoglyphs, you know, so these things that are on the facial expressions of Bright Eyes here, I just want to show you. So we go through them here. He's pretty, his eyes and his expressions. Let's see. Come on. All right.
Looks like an Ewok.
Yeah. Yeah,
Kinda
he
does.
does. Yeah.
Doesn't
He
it?
looks, and some people say he looks like a Grinch and stuff in this picture. And okay, so you see his
Little guy.
height changed. You know, oops. Yeah. What happened? This is hard. Anyways, I invite
Yeah,
you guys to.
we're kind of at the downhill side of our little talk here. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think the Sasquatch people and all these people? What do you think they are?
You know, at first I thought they were just like us. You know, but and in the sense of there being an emotions, careful thinking, compassion. These, you know, these beings are all capable of that. That is primarily, you know, what they're about. They're not like a physical, not in a way that we can understand that. You know, I've had them in, you know, gosh, you know, this is the only show I can really talk weird on, you know, but they have done some really strange things with me that defy explanation and leave me in awe. How they're able to transform to an orb, I don't know. How they're able, that picture I showed you of Zariel,
Mini spaceship.
that picture of Zariel on that slab of wood, and the light that cascades down on him has been with me ever since I met that picture, ever since I took that picture. And how a Sasquatch is able to do that, I don't know. How. So no, they're not like us. They're not humans in that sense. They're not. They are able to transform themselves. From change their energies. They're seem to be a being that is physical yet quantum, like a quantum of quantum science to them that is beyond our understanding of how something like that can exist. That's why we can't get a good handle on proving their existence. We can get hair particles and stuff like that, but anything more than that, it pretty much is, we're grasping for straws pretty much. The feeders are all about, they're just, come on, man. If they were like the gorillas, we would have found them. We would have by now. We already have the equipment, the necessary science to see them in different ways, and still they're able to escape us. We can see them. I've photographed them in full spectrum, and where you could see them there and you couldn't see them in a regular photograph. So what they are, how they are, I don't, it's, gosh, that's a mystery. It's too hard to even understand. I try to get my, my head around exactly what they are, but it's like Melba Ketchum, angelic like. That's all I can say. It's out of this world. A phenomenon that, and a species that is much more advanced than we are, I guess. What's your take on it, Pat? What do you think?
Well, Sasquatch, what they are?
Yeah.
They are a human hybrid.
That's what I want to.
Flesh and blood, but they're interdimensional, and they got the whole package there. But they want to, with that being said, they want to basically build a bridge to, humankind, and they do want to reveal themselves. But the thing is I think that over years of, dealing with men and stuff like that, they've learned that it's safer to, do the telepathy and stuff like that. That's what I think. but they're an interdimensional human hybrid that was brought about by ETs, the star people. And that's what they told Robin. So I believe that 100%.
That follows along with what I've been told. So pretty much to a T. That's what that's pretty much it. It's very hard to define.
I think the fact that you were first introduced to interdimensional, other dimensional beings by looking at craft and having craft come around, to me, that's congruent. It fits together with the narrative. And then you went on to find the Sasquatch people. So, you got those two. So to me, they're pretty much the same kind of a team. Sasquatch and the ET people. They do a lot of similar kind of things, and star people want to be seen now. There's a big buzz. Everybody's talking about star people, and yeah, they want to be seen, and so do the Dogman, Sasquatch, and other cryptids out there. They want to be seen, and they want us to know it's for our own good. It's not just for them; it's for our own good.
They're trying to break our mold. They are trying to show us what really exists and what we really are in what our place really is in the universe. And it's not what the president and the richest people have carved out for us to believe.
Eat, sleep, and work. That's about it.
Yeah.
Those guys are pirates. If you ask
Yay.
me. They saw a planet having problems, and they just swooped in and tried to be a pirate, and say, "Oh well, we're the boss." Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
The boss.
So they're, so through us, we're beginning, and even the government is having to, admit there's something going on that they can't explain, with these with this aerial phenomenon,
Oh, for
and
Pete's sake.
yeah, it's
They've known about that stuff for years. And it's just like all of a sudden they get a epiphany and oh my gosh, they're out there,
yeah, they knew it, and they've been part of it. Like I said, I saw that back in '89. I saw that I believe I would have to say it was a freighter, a huge freighter, leaving the planet, going away from the planet, and disappeared into the stars. And there was, it was not the space shuttle, it was not a rocket, it was nothing like that. It had that bluish energy, and it was going away, leaving.
Well, look at this. Is basically you cannot deny the fact that probably this world is trading with other worlds. I mean, it's happening because
Absolutely.
I mean, they're just not saying anything,
Absolutely.
I mean, I saw a show on Gaia that basically they're doing an arms trade. We send our arms to these, kind of third world planets, and this low tech stuff arming it to protect themselves. So
that's sad to consider, but you're probably right. You're probably right. These resources that we're getting that are hard to come by, may be hard to come by because they're not here. Somewhere.
I mean, there's off-world human trafficking. That happens because it's not on-world too. But it's just nobody even considers that because nobody thinks that UFOs are real to begin with.
Yeah. So I got one. Here's another story for you. Back when I first, okay, right after I had taken that picture of the slab of wood, and I was up on top of Willamette Pass, where I had given Sasquatch my money. Okay, I went that fall. I went to Yakima, to the Yakima Bigfoot gig they had there that year, and this gentleman Jay, gosh, I can't remember his last name, but he is an artist, an artist that like for the government that
A forensic artist,
there you go, a forensic artist. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
the
Okay.
FBI. And stuff.
And so he is I'm telling him about my experience that I had up there. He's and I'm like, I never saw the Bigfoot, but and so he starts drawing one, and this is the picture he came up with. And I kid you not, I will take a lie detector test to this. When I was out just after the Green Man, my son and we went back up to that place the next day to go see if we could capture anything else going on. And I had my FLIR on, and I'm panning around. I wasn't recording. I was just panning around looking at it. And all of a sudden, something blocked the scenery. And I couldn't tell what it was, but it came up to close. And it was this dude. And he smiled at me and turned and walked away. And both my son and I saw it. And I wasn't pushing. I wasn't recording. We both just saw it, and we were like, "Whoa!"
Or you saw him in person? You saw him in the flare.
What's that?
Did you see him with the flare?
Yeah, saw him with the FLIR. Yep. It was bizarre, man. But but it was him. It looked exactly like him. And so, it was by no coincidence, and that's the dude I met up there. And even my son was like, it's, it looked exactly like that, and so they've interacted, gosh, I have so much stuff, man. It's it's transpired.
They're really giving you the hard press. You've got so many good stories and so much good information. It's just amazing. You're an amazing guest, an amazing human.
I wish I wasn't in so much pain and I could freaking think clearer right now, you guys. It's challenging, but I wanted to get here because last time I said some things that just through it didn't make sense, and it's it's a really complicated subject, and I'm with I tend to want to believe like what Pat and you guys that they are a hybrid. But they are not Gigantopithecus.
No, I don't think they're that.
I don't think so, man.
They're
You
much
know?
more than that.
I think you got enough information for a book.
You know,
Maybe
there's what do you got? You know, I think the Book of Enoch. You know, uh, I know. What the heck is this? That was weird. Do you guys think that rings true?
Book of Enoch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a true, I think a true accounting of how it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't want that in the Bible at all. They've taken out quite a bit of stuff because they want to have their own narrative on everything.
I think that Enoch was in another dimension. He went somewhere. They took him somewhere on a craft
Oh
or
yeah,
some
yeah.
land or something. It
But
wasn't
I mean,
one
that's
place.
how it is. Portals, all that stuff. It's all in there.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. You know, it's fascinating. I can't wait. You know, gosh, I can't wait to get back out in the woods. You know, reset my clock and you
I
know.
wish I could. I wish I could go to the woods.
Me too, brother. I want to go with Brian. I want to go up and see Brian
Well,
so bad.
we haven't been in the woods since we've been up here. The snakes and got a lot of poisonous snakes up here, so we just don't
Where
do
are
it.
you at, Pat?
South Carolina,
Oh, yeah.
and they're all over the place. And but I always say like we really don't need to leave the house. We get enough interaction inside the house and around it.
Yeah,
With
there
it's
is,
not Bigfoot.
but you know, my purpose, you know, and they, you know, I enjoy doing it with people, and they, you know, they allow
Yeah,
people to photograph them with me, you know, and to you know, and that's a cool part because I always have, you know, uh somebody to back up, I always back up what happened, you know, to verify the
yeah,
event.
that's true.
And
Have you ever been out there and you heard your voice talk back to you?
I've
done that
never
to me.
heard that, man, but I've heard office meetings taking place and stuff that you know that wasn't there, but it sounded like somebody, somebody having a business meeting, you know, it was just off to the side somewhere. And I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, and you can't actually make out the words, but it sounds like a
Office
serious,
meeting out in the woods?
yeah, it sounds like a serious. It was funny, man.
That Starlink, you can take that antenna anywhere and get internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go have some dinner, some lunch. But like I said, thank you both for showing up. That was some of the best jam-packed stories. It was just jam-packed. How many stories you got? And so many heart-touching. It's not just I got scared. It's some real good heart-touching stories.
I appreciate you guys having me on, and
Welcome.
I love you guys, and so much for transforming my life. I can't say thank you enough to you light workers. Michael, you have done so much for me. You have no idea. And you don't see it because you're not here, but I see you, and I love you, brother. And yeah, I love you all, man. Yeah. Yeah, my life is transformed big time, because of the Sasquatch, because of you people, and I love y'all. I hope we can. This is not the end. We'll learn a lot more.
So sleep
Absolutely.
on top of the bed. Don't get tossed off anymore. All right.
Yeah.
Sleep on top of the bed. No getting tossed off.
Hey, Dale, Dale,
Yeah.
do you have a picture? I mean, I swear I saw you had a picture and there was this huge Sasquatch head. Was that you?
Now, now say that again.
I saw a picture. I don't know if it was you or somebody else that had you were there, and then you had a Sasquatch huge head right next to you, like in the living room or something like that. I saw it on someone's page. I thought it was yours.
Where I had a Sasquatch next to me.
Well, I saw that on someone's Facebook page, and you could see the face right next to whoever it was. I thought it was yours. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, very well could be. I got so many. I don't know. You know, I got a lot of pictures, man. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can see the face right off. I mean, it's like clear and wow, what the heck?
Well, if you run
Where's he-
across it, show it to me.
Where's he
Yeah.
standing in the woods, or where's he standing when?
He's in his living room,
Oh,
sitting down, I think, and the Bigfoot's head is right next to him. It's like, come on, how you would come up and put your head out and you want to be a part of the picture, that type of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was fake, not, I almost thought it was pretty sure it was Dale.
I can't, I don't know. I can't place that. So probably not, but
Probably not, but
That's pretty cool.
I'll see if I can find that picture.
yeah. Yeah. I'd
All
like
right.
to see it.
All right, and you send me your send me the in Messenger. Send me the web page or the .com page or whatever it is for your amphitheater, and I'll put that in the video.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
All right.
it. All right, my friends.
Well, thanks for everybody for coming, and yeah, it seems like we only just barely scratched the surface of some of these things, so we can get back into it again another time, pick up on it.
We definitely can. I got a lot of stuff, so
I'm sorry about your pain and everything.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll get better at some point.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Yeah. Yeah. So I think better. I love
All
you
right.
guys.
You
Yeah,
guys have
everybody.
a good night.
Thanks
Take
everybody
care,
for
Pat.
watching, and we'll catch you all next time on the Pork and Bean Show.
Thank you.
All right.
everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.